something we did a couple weeks ago, but we're bringing back. It is time for the scandal scale, I guess. The name is pending. I made some tiers a couple weeks ago. Video did pretty well, so we're coming back with the second edition of NFL tiers. Some people moved around. We got some different names. We got different colors. Steve, are you ready to see this week's tiers?
I can't wait.
Let's take a look. Here we have the tiers. Brand new edition. We're starting at the bottom, working our way up. Bottom row sleeps with their dad. It just like last time, it just is what it is. These are the worst teams. Not going to get any better. Now, the Packers I had a hard time putting down there, but I don't see them getting any better.
Bad.
Jordan Love is, I still don't know. We said at the third of the season, what are we getting from Jordan Love? And now we're going to be 11 weeks in, and it's like, what are we going to get from Jordan Love? I still really don't know. Second row up, quarterback wanted. All of these teams could be and would be better if they just had a better quarterback. The Rams just can't stay with a healthy quarterback. We know the Raiders have been having problems. Desmond Ridder's absolute dog water, and Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis are just kind of floating around. All these teams, if they had a quarterback, probably would be a little higher on this list, but they don't, so they can't. Next up, no guaranteed dub, meaning if you play one of these teams, should you win? Probably. Are you guaranteed to win? Absolutely not. The Saints have been getting a little bit better every week. Derek Carr needs to figure it out and stay figured out. The Jets are the Jets. Their defense is going to win you most of the games. Zach Wilson plays okay some games and then just trash the next. And the Broncos are on the rise. The Broncos are getting a lot better. I just still don't. I'm not buying it. Next up, devastated fan bases. The Browns and the Colts were on the upward trend. Well, the Colts haven't been for a while, but the Browns were on the way up. The Browns, Deshaun Watson down for the season. It is what it is. It's a bummer. You can't be that good without Deshaun Watson at your quarterback. And the Colts, Gardner Minshew's having them hanging on, but we just know that if Anthony Richardson was there, they'd be in a much better position. So,
especially with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. So exactly. So these fan bases are just frustrated. So that's where that tier's at. The frisky and fun tier. This one stayed from last week, but all these teams are they're nice teams. They're good little teams to root for. Josh Dobbs and the Vikings. Give it up for him, man. He's been doing excellent up there in Minnesota. Sam Howell's looking like a excellent up-and-coming young quarterback. Kenny Pickett only plays in the fourth quarter for some reason. And you know how we feel about Baker and the Bucs. They're still frisky. They're a great team. Morty, get out of here before I throw you out of here. All right, now that that's out of the way, purgatory. These teams all could be better. They just can't. They refuse to go any higher. They're stuck in that middle ground. The Bills are 5-5, fired their offensive coordinator. Josh Allen's looking iffy. The Chargers beat Chargerin, like we've been saying. And the Seahawks, I think they have a very clear cap of how good they can be. Right above them, we got playoff teams. Now, all of these teams, first of all, the Texans taking a huge rise up on these tiers. And these are teams that they're obviously going to make the playoffs. I think that they can maybe win one game, but they're not going to win two. They are good enough to make the playoffs, but they are not good enough to make big noise in the playoffs. I'll put it that way. Because the tier above them, conference chips, are all teams who I think could beat them if they met any of them. Like, I think the teams above them are the real ones who are going in to win big games in the playoffs. The Bengals have been playing great since Joe Burrow got back. Dak Prescott is in the MVP conversation, I guess. He's not top 5 in my opinion, but maybe he's like 8. That's up for debate, just things I've been hearing. And the Lions have been playing really well. Now, I've heard Jared Goff is a top 5, top 6 quarterback. I'm not buying into that yet. But all these teams are great. And if they lost any sooner than the conference championship, I would think they would consider this season a failure. And the top tier, the contenders, same exact ones as last week. These are all the cream of the crop of the conference, 2 AFC, 2 NFC. These are still the clear and best team. We have the Eagles Chiefs coming up on Monday. Going to be a great game. Steve, the new edition of the tiers. I asked for some feedback from middle schoolers today. They all said it was pretty good. So let's see what you think. What do you got for me?
So the first question is, on a bye week, what did the Dolphins do to deserve moving from conference chip to playoff team?
It's not that.
Because last year you said
they were
their conference chip. And then all of a sudden they haven't even played a game, but now you think, okay, they're just a playoff team.
The Dolphins and the Lions switched.
No, you had the Lions up there with them, I thought, last week. Didn't you?
I don't think. Let me look.
But either way, so you have
No, I did not. They were on the third tier last week or 2 weeks ago.
So the Lions and the Dolphins flip. So the Lions beat the Chargers, and the Lions move up, even though the Dolphins also. Okay, that's fair. The only other one that I would move, Steelers go up 1, and the Chargers come down 1 for me. Every week we keep looking for something that shows us that they can't keep winning, and every week they keep winning.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, I think that they're more of a purgatory for me, just because you're right. Their defense is a championship-winning defense, but their offense is terrible.
I kind of like the Steelers. Like the Seahawks and the Steelers are similar to me in that I think they have a very clear cap. Yeah. And I think that the Chargers also might have a cap. Like I said, they're not as good as the teams above them, but it's just a higher one. And I think if those two teams played in the playoffs, I would still pick the Chargers to win. That might be just me because I want to believe in the Chargers, but but I know that's a good argument. The Steelers.
So are you still kind of on the fence with the Texans as far as like if they're legit contenders, or
they're not contenders?
One of those people that you're like, I don't think
they're a good team.
Okay.
Where I have them is where I think of them. They're a good playoff team. I don't see them winning more than one game because as good as CJ Stroud is, playoffs are a whole different monster. They have a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach. I don't believe in youth in the playoffs. So I think where I have them is just fine. They're a good playoff team who's going to lose, who's going to win, maybe win one game, but not two.
The only thing that I'm still like, the Cowboys to me are not proven. I'm sorry. I've seen them play in big moments. They do this all year. They do this every freaking year.
Yep.
They have a moment.
I agree.
There's a moment every season where we sit back and we say, dang, they might be legit this year. They might be real. The Cowboys, and then what happens every year?
We've never said that. But see, that's why they're not contenders. But I think for how good their defense is and for how good their offense is playing, regardless, if they don't make the conference championship, it'd be disappointment. I think we all expect them to make a run at the conference championship at least. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying the difference is between that tier and the tier below them. You're right. Because to go back to the Dolphins point, I did believe that they were a conference championship team. But as the season went on and they just kept proving that they just don't have what it takes to beat those better teams, I just don't know if that's in the cards for them anymore, because they're going to have to be one of those teams to get there.
I like these a lot. There's minor changes that I'd make, but that's why it's the sound scale, and this is good.
What do you think of the names?
I love the names. I think they perfectly describe these teams.
And I know people are going to say, and that if they're going to say we're ripping off another popular tier sports segment, and what I'm going to say to those people is, no, we're not. That's all I'm going to say. We're not. This is our own thing. Yep. And it's, frankly, if we're being real, especially this season, it's probably a little better. Let's be honest. A lot better. So there we go. Scandal scale, Cam's tiers, I don't know. Name pending, but there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.